are one of the top 10 teams in the country.
Semi-pro.
Semi-pro indeed. They are an outstanding team, and no one wants to play them in the first round, so it is imperative that one of these teams win the district and not have to do that. Garland in the driver's seat. They have a one-game lead. They are playing at home, but the Colonels have played very well since their loss to Garland.
So, you know, you have to look back on that game, Russell. Of course, I don't believe you were there, but we did that game earlier over at South Garland, and Derek played so well that night. He controlled himself. He stayed in the ball game, basically. He's always had a tendency to get in a bit of foul trouble. He did a great job of staying in the ball game that night. And in the fourth quarter, he really carried the tempo for the Garland out.
Neither of these teams has a lot of depth at the center position, so the man that gets in foul trouble could put his team in a bind. The South Garland Colonels will be introduced first. Now, the Colonels have some injury problems we'll talk about. Billy Smith has a little bit of a bad knee, but he will go. Cato Armstrong has had a separated shoulder bothering him for most of the season. Russ George is over his hip pointer.
Got some interesting matchups coming up here tonight. Naturally, Cato Armstrong will be on Blaylock. Two of the great guards in the district. They'll be going heads up here.
Mookie Blaylock and Cato Armstrong, in fact, two of the best guards in the Metroplex, if not in the entire state. There is Armstrong. In addition, Tony Smith, the younger brother of Billy, an outstanding defensive player, a sophomore guard, playing on a bit of a sprained ankle. Not sure if he can go tonight or not. And now the Garland Owls. Garrett, Mookie Blaylock.
You know, we have the addition of a band here behind us tonight. Make the audio problems even that more difficult for us.
It is very, very loud here. Raymond Satchel, number 42. Robert Thompson, and finally, the man who does it for Garland. 6'7" junior forward, post, Richard Derrick. Hold on to your hats, folks. This is what it's all about.
You know, Russell, with the matchup we're talking about of Blaylock against Armstrong, also you're looking at Derek being on Billy Smith. That's another good twosome there. I cannot forget Driver over on the far side.
Driver had a
there to set the offside against people like Satchel and Neil Derrick.
Driver had a big game scoring against North Garland last Friday. And by the way, talking about the schedule down the road, the Colonels have faced the toughest part of their road schedule. They will get North Mesquite, Wilmer, and Highland Park all at home in the second half. Garland still has to go to Wilmer and to Highland Park. They won at North Mesquite last Friday night. Billy Smith, Richard Derrick to jump. First place in this district on the line. Two of the top 10 teams in the Metroplex, two of the best teams in the state. Hooking it up. We are underway. Tip controlled by Garland. Russ George opens up on Mookie Blaylock. Inside Derrick. Foul from behind. No, not foul. Derrick got the ball. The ball will not go on the follow by Derrick.
Good shot. Smith was behind him that time.
And a turnover. Traveling. I thought Derek Driver had fouled Richard Derrick. Yes, we do have a lot of Derricks in the ball game. We also have a lot of Smiths. You'll find that out in big hurry. South Garland's basketball. No score. First time the Colonels have had it. We'll check the matchups. Billy Smith moving inside, up, no good, partially blocked. Cato Armstrong tried to get the rebound and was called for the foul. First on Cato, first on the team, and if there are two players in this lineup South Garland cannot afford to get in foul trouble, it would be Billy Smith and Cato Armstrong. In the first meeting, Billy did get in foul trouble and Cato got hurt. And Garland dominated. Mookie Blaylock from 18, no good. Satchel with the board, knocked away by Russ George. Satchel chases it down, saves it in to Neil Derrick from the baseline. No good, too long. Gets his own board, puts it back up and in.
Well, right there you see the matchup. That's going to be Derrick against Driver. Driver's going to have his hands full because Derrick has been playing some good basketball this year.
Billy Smith inside, fouled from behind. Nice move up the baseline.
Smith having a fantastic game against Wilmer here the other night when the South traveled to Wilmer Hutchins. If I remember correctly, 29 points. somewhere in that vicinity for Smith.
Against Reginald Muhammad, supposedly the best postman in the Metroplex. For my money, Muhammad ranks about number 6, but SMU liked him and signed him. Billy Smith for 2, hits the first.
Many scouts here tonight.
I would imagine so.
As is Big Time TV.
Well, I don't know about them, but we're here.
Channel 4's here, too.
Oh, are they? Oh, good for them. By golly, they are. Thompson all the way. Missed it. Rebound, Charles Smith. Great move to the baseline. Couldn't get it.
Good move. Just would not get off the glass.
Russ George bringing across the timeline. We're tied at 2. Both teams coming out a little tentative. Shooting has been very poor so far. Derek Driver high post. Armstrong from 20. No good off back iron. Rebound comes down to Neil Derrick. They try to run. Mookie Blaylock in the middle. 3 on 4. Pulls up from 18. No good off back iron. Rebound Billy Smith. He runs. Colonels 3 on 1. Charles Smith almost threw it away as he picks it up in the corner. He'll take it from 20. No good. Rebound took by Billy Smith off Derek Driver and then off of, I think, Thompson. Out of bounds, belongs to the Colonels. Both teams very cold from the field to start things off. But that may be expected in a game of this magnitude.
Well, rebounds are going to be tough to get underneath that basket for a while here until things slow down.
Jumped inside. Nice defensive play by Richard Derrick. Can he get it back in bounds? He does not. Colonel's ball. Richard kind of tight-roping the end line there. Couldn't get it to a player on his side in time. Armstrong from the corner makes a move. In traffic, Derrick pulls it down. Partially blocked, and Cato doesn't have many blocked. Might have been Neil Derrick getting it on the way up. Mookie Blaylock against George. Richard Derrick on the wing. Moves baseline. No good short. Good defensive job by Billy Smith, and the rebound will be on Satchel. That's his second. Nice defense by Billy Smith. Got beat to the baseline, but managed to get back in good position and get in the way.
Well, just to show you how tough things are under the basket right now, Richard Derrick ended up on his wallet out on the free throw line when that shot went up.
5:41 left. We are still tied at 2. Colonels don't have a bucket yet. Owls have only one. That was on a follow. Ball tipped. Way across court. Cato from 20 hits it. Armstrong scores. Colonels by 2. 4-2. And maybe that'll loosen things up a little bit. Russ George and Mookie Blaylock. A little bit of a surprise, I think. Satchel working against Derrick. Driver, and the rebound comes down to Cato Armstrong. Lost it, and he is fouled by Mookie Blaylock. First on Blaylock, third on the team. Close.
Armstrong came down with it that time, turning right into him. I think they hit heads. That had to hurt.
Well, they're two hard-headed players. I don't know if that means anything in that situation, but it might. You can go ahead and laugh at my jokes whether you hear them or not, Ray. It's kind of loud in here.
That's why I took the headset off. I don't have to listen to you.
Inside, Billy Smith. Post up, shoots, and scores. Good defense by Derrick, but he could not stop Billy Smith.
You know, in the past, Russell, it's been an interesting thing. When you get Derrick against Smith inside, tempers do tend to flare every now and then between the two. And in a game as this such, I would imagine they're wound very tight tonight.
They've been playing each other for a long time. That basket was by Thompson. Armstrong, corner air ball, goes right to Billy Smith, missed it, and can't get it back. Almost a steal, saved, back into play. It is Neil Derrick. Field control, and the Owls can tie it. Defense has been very intense so far. Turnaround in the lane by Derrick off the glass, no good, too hard. Rebound fought for, comes down to Satchel. He misses. Tipped up, no good. Neil Derrick with it inside. Can't get it to go. Yes, he does. Foul on Charles Smith.
I believe Charles Smith came up with that one. And basket counts.
First on Charles, second on the team. Game is tied. Derrick with a chance to give the Owls the lead. Calvin Smith checks in, and he checks in for Cato Armstrong. Neil Derrick with 5 quick ones, and the Owls lead at 7-6. This is the half-court trap that the Owls run so well. Billy Smith takes it all the way to the hole. He is hammered by Neil Derrick.
Smith went up from the baseline there down under. There were 6 sets of hands that got in there to stop that shot. The referee could have took his choice, 3 different players.
Obviously, the Garland plan is to make sure Billy Smith gets nothing cheap because he's gotten 2 balls inside and gotten hammered both times. Billy with a chance to give the Colonels the lead. Can tie it with this one, and does. Smith with nice touch for a big man from the free throw line. In fact, Richard Derrick shoots free throws fairly well for a player of his size. Smith hits them both. It's an 8-7 Colonel lead. Derrick double clutches, can't get it to go, goes out of bounds, belongs to South Garland.
Well, there is not room to breathe under the basket.
This is some of the best man-to-man defense you'll see played at the high school level. These 2 teams are really getting after it. Now, as soon as I say man-to-man, Garland's gone to a 2-3 zone. Teach me to talk. Charles Smith, the zone buster, short. Rebound Satchel. Unless the Colonels hit those, I'm sure the Garland Owls will continue to play that zone. Richard Derrick forces in. Offensive foul on Derrick.
Well, I think that was a pretty good call. Defense had definitely gotten set, and
well, if Richard does have one fault. He really likes to go hard to the bucket, and that time he got called for the offensive foul. Good defense by Billy Smith. Only the first foul on Richard.
well, I think another thing that would have caused that, he saw a chance to draw a foul on the man that's playing on him.
Colonels already in the bonus. Only 2 team fouls against South Garland currently. 2-3 zone. This is a good defense to protect them from foul trouble. Maybe part of the reason they're doing it. Armstrong back in the game, by the way, for South Garland. He'll take it from 20.
Well, there's only one other place to shoot, and that would be from out in the hallway by the concessions.
That one brought rain, and the basket will count as Armstrong goaltends. That'll be 7 points for Neil Derrick already. Cato got that off the glass. It might not have gone in anyway. 2:47 left, 1 point Colonel lead. Inside Smith, nice pass to Derrick. Driver reverses, can't get it to go. Tipped out, Billy Smith has it. Moves inside, left-hander won't go. And out of bounds belongs to the Colonels.
Smith fighting real hard in there to keep the ball that time.
Billy is the only player that can match up size-wise with Garland. Garland has several players who are pretty big, although none as big as Richard Derrick, but several in the 6'4" range. Colonels can't match that. Russ George from 20. No good off back out. Cato Armstrong high for the board. 8-foot follow, won't go. Rebound, Richard Derrick. Swings the elbows to clear out. Long lead pass off the official's head. Tough break for Garland. The official is part of the floor, technically. Not the referee's fault, just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well, he had to duck a little bit to keep from catching that one in the ear.
2 minutes left, first quarter. George, top of the key. Armstrong thinks about it, dumps it into Driver. Drives, double clutches, left-hander goes. Nice move. Derrick Driver's first basket. Colonels by 3, 12-9.
This is something Coach Brooks would really like to see, be Driver get into the scoring. It'd be very important how well he can play in this game.
Foul was on Russ George, his first. Owls still not in the bonus. It'll be Garland's basketball out of bounds with 1:46 left first quarter. Very tough, hard-fought game so far. Dumped down low. Richard Derrick turns around, missed it too hard off the glass, goes to Thompson. Robert Thompson puts it in, 1 point game. And Garland really hitting the offensive boards in the early going. They have a slew of offensive rebounds.
Well, Smith's out of the ball game right now. Cato's come down low. It puts Russ George out on Blaylock.
Billy Smith lost it, but George controls, goes right to Armstrong. Spins baseline, dumps it low to Billy Smith. Pass was too hard, goes out of bounds, belongs to South Garland, but Armstrong playing a little bit out of control right now.
Well, I just said Smith was out of the ball game. I guess he's not. He's there.
I'll teach you to talk. How did you not see him? That's amazing, Ray. 18-footer off back iron. Charles Smith has come out cold. The ball comes to Cato Armstrong. Colonel's getting lucky.
They seem to be shooting things that are really out of their range.
Driver dumps off Charles Smith way too long. Ball tipped away, and I think it's going to be saved to Garland. 2-on-1. Blaylock takes it all the way. No, missed it. Richard Derrick with the board. Puts it in.
Good follow-up that time by Derrick.
And what a move by Mookie Blaylock. Even though the shot didn't go, it was impressive. Owls by 1, 36 seconds left. Colonels are shooting from long range. Take another one. It won't count, but he is fouled.
Oh, that's terrible. A foul call that far out.
It's on Robert Thompson. That is his first, and Cato Armstrong will be shooting free throws. I don't know if it'll be 1 or 2. We'll have to see. I didn't see if they called it a during the shooting foul or an after the shot foul. But you're right, the Colonels are not getting anything inside, and they have thrown up some Polaris missiles here in the first quarter.
Well, the zone that Garland is playing is forcing them to shoot from at least 15 feet out if they're not going to try to work the ball inside to Smith.
A few times Billy has gotten it down low. He's gotten hammered or missed. Cato hits them both. Armstrong and Smith, Billy, have done all the scoring so far for South Garland. They tried to get a substitute in, Jimmy Thetford trying to come in for the Colonels. It was not in time, so we will inbound the ball. South Garland by 1. Long pass, Satchel. That's Kevin Mack who's in the ball game. Offensive board, Derrick missed it, tipped up, still loose. Russ George pulls it down, stepped on the baseline. Satchel and Mack and Thompson look so much alike, it is almost impossible to tell them apart. It's like clones, they keep running them in.
Yes, it is.
They're all about 6'3", they're all real lanky. They're going to probably get Mookie Blaylock to step back and try to get a jumper here. They could not do so, so they go into Richard Derrick, working against Billy Smith back in the corner. Satchel from 12. I'm not sure if that was a pass or a shot. Colonel's on the run. 7 seconds to play. Going to have to hurry. Russ George from 25 hits it, and that'll end the quarter.
Well, that's a nice way to end it.
I wasn't sure Russ could throw the ball that far. At the end of one quarter, South Garland on top, 16-13 in a very hotly contested game, just as we suspected. Possibly the single most stunning statistic right from quarter number 1, Richard Derrick with 2 points.
Well, as we said before, it's going to be an interesting matchup, Derrick against Billy Smith.
Billy
Cato,
Smith,
from what I've seen thus far, playing down low, trying to help on the rebounding side for him. And that leaves Russ George out there on Blaylock. And Blaylock, of course,
Famous for his top-of-the-key shot.
yes, he is. Mookie probably pulls up on the break and shoots the 15-footer better than anybody around. In the first quarter, Billy Smith and Cato Armstrong, each with 6, lead South Garland. They got 1 basket apiece from Derek Driver, and then the one at the close of the quarter from Russ George. For Garland, they're led by Neil Derrick with 7. 4 for Robert Thompson, someone they're not used to getting a lot of points from, and only 2 points from Richard Derrick. Mookie Blaylock has not scored.
well, what you see here about looking at this book is that right now it's a very defensive game underneath. Both offenses are getting, in most cases, 1 shot at it, and that's it.
I would have to think Lane Nordsworthy has to be pleased to get only 2 points out of his 2 best players in the first quarter and still only be down by 3 points. Starters back on the floor for South Garland. Ball controlled by Garland. In a hurry, off the glass and good. Raymond Satchel makes the 1-point game.
It's another nice move. Satchel's played some great ball this year, too.
Cato Armstrong got caught at the other end. Russ George, top of the key, off back iron, no good. Billy Smith tips it back up and in. 8 for Billy Smith, 3-point game. Got excellent
Derrick
position.
got caught on the other side of the lane that time when the rebound came down.
Cato Armstrong again caught at the other end of the floor defensively. Russ George dribbles through traffic, and a foul is on Richard Derrick, and that's number 2.
So Derrick draws his second according to the scoreboard here.
Big call.
And
Very
it's
big
something
call.
that the Garland needs to do is to keep that man in the ball game.
Quite frankly, I thought they were going to call walking on Russ George, but they said that it was the push with the legs by Derrick that caused him to travel. Russ George trying to give the Colonels a 4-point lead, and does. 19-15. And we'll have to see how Derrick plays the remainder of the quarter. Well, we'll have to see how he plays from the bench because he's out of the ball game. No, he's not. He's still there. Thought they had substituted for him. George hits them both. Lead is up to 5, 20-15. Steal by Cato Armstrong. Nice pass. Billy Smith lost it. Goes to Cato. Missed it. Lost it on the way up. Traveling.
That's a good call. Both of them came down with the ball.
It's kind of like, no, you take it. No, you take it. And they took a step, and that was all there was to it.
Cato was going to jam it, but I think lost the ball on the way up. Full court pressure by South Garland. Had a chance to lead by 7 with that steal. Garland foul, and fans wanted a foul. Satchel, baseline, all the way and scoring.
That's a good move. It opened up. Good 4 feet along that baseline then. Nobody there to even stop him.
I think it's a case of them double-teaming Richard Derrick and ignoring Satchel, and he took advantage. Charles Smith dumps it inside, intercepted. Oh, Billy Smith gets it back. Dumps inside Derrick Driver, and he scores. Nice pass. Colonel's passing has been very crisp tonight. Long one. Mack. Score it. Russ George down. Mack came down on top of an activist shot. And the Garland fans not too sympathetic with Russ's play.
No, they're not. Say the least.
3-point game. Charles Smith hasn't hit one yet, has now. First basket for Charles. Game is a 5-point game again, 24-19, Neil Derrick in the open court. The problem with pressing like South Garland is they open up those open floor opportunities. Mookie Blaylock scores.
Well, they'll have to keep somebody fairly quick on Blaylock. He's capable of hitting 30 points from outside.
Under 6 minutes, 3-point Colonel lead. Cato Armstrong way deep in the corner. Charles Smith will take that from about 18. Rattles around, won't fall. Billy Smith picks it up, can't get it to go. Richard Derrick with the rebound. Billy Smith having trouble getting the ball to go inside. Mookie Blaylock very short, not a good shot. Charles Smith pulls up from 12. No good. Tipped up, no good. Derrick with the rebound. Richard on the way. 3-on-1. Mookie Blaylock scoring.
Derrick very wisely passing the ball off that time.
Russ George had him in his sights. He was looking for that third foul.
He had his position established. He was just waiting.
Very seldom you see a Colonel team get beat down the floor that badly. They really didn't have anybody anywhere around. Cato from the corner. Armstrong's got 8. Back to a 3-point game. Colonels with their own half-court trap. Block. Travel. In an effort to avoid the charge, Derrick had to walk a little bit. It's good defense by Charles Smith. Again, the Garland fans not too happy with that particular call.
Well, it should be had from the standpoint it wasn't called charging.
That is true. Colonel's looking to lead by 5 again, under 5 minutes left. Second quarter. Calvin Smith, Mr. Offense. Intercepted by Allsbrook, who's checked in for Garland.
You know, Allsbrook's another fine player for him. He comes off the bench in most cases. He's a pretty solid basketball player.
Ball tipped around. Calvin Smith with the rebound. You know, I kind of think of Calvin Smith as the microwave oven of basketball. He comes in and things start to cook. He comes in with a shooting arm cocked.
He is a pure shooter.
Charles Smith from 20, you bet.
Well, everybody's starting to warm up here. We're seeing nothing inside of 15 feet anymore, so.
28-23, Neil Derrick. What a move. Ball's very short, however. Charles Smith with the rebound, being chased, hustles it up. Pulls up from 12, no good short. Almost a travel as 2 Garland players fought for the ball. Colonels had a chance to lead by 7 and lost it. Charles having a tough time hitting the jumper off the fast break, even as Blaylock is. Satchel with another basket. He's got 6 1/4 and the game. It's a 3-point game again.
That's a good indication there. That pass came down low right in front of Smith. He could have tried to block the shot. He wisely just let him shoot over him.
Pass a little too tall. Tried to bounce it off of a Garland player. Could not. Gil Derrick runs it down as Calvin Smith tipped it. All the way up. No good. Rebound Allsbrook. Can't get it to go. Foul on Calvin Smith. First on Calvin, only the 4th on the team. The Colonel's done a good job to avoid the fouls in the first half.
And Russ George is on the floor again.
Russ spends a lot of time on the floor.
Yes, he does.
Do we have a timeout? I'm not sure. All the Garland players headed for the bench, but I think it's just to get a drink of water. They are not going to have a timeout.
Talking of Russ George spending a lot of time on the floor, I believe when you graced our airways over here on a regular basis last year, you had your, was it floor burn?
All floor burn team,
yeah, floor burners, that's what it was.
Yeah, you're going to do that again this year, right?
Russ George was one of your candidates on that.
Yeah, he's about as good at that as anybody. Good defense, Billy Smith. Colonel's on the run. 5-on-1 break. Billy Smith all the way, can't get it to go.
What's terrible, nobody else can come down with the rebound for South.
Derrick lost it, belongs to Garland. Russ George got down in good shape on defense. Boy, when you got a 5-on-1 and don't score, you're in big trouble. Al's looking to cut it to 1.
Well, I'll tell you what, did a great job in allowing them just one shot. As you said, 5 guys down there, and they got one shot.
Jimmy Pedford showing his quickness, intercepts that inbounds pass. Neither team is doing very well on the break, even though they've gotten some opportunities. Calvin Smith back to Charles. Russ George from the corner. That's going to be a little long. Tipped up, and Pedford will be whistled for the foul. I was looking down, didn't see what he did. That is team foul number 5, so we will shoot a 1-and-1. And it'll be Raymond Satchel for the 1-and-1. Hits them both, it'll be a 1-point game. It's the first one. Cato Armstrong checks back in for South Garland, replacing Russ George. Cato and Billy Smith each have 8 to lead their team. And Satchel, if he can hit this one, will also have 8. He does not. Long rebound comes out Calvin Smith. South Garland leads by 2, has the basketball. Calvin thinks about going baseline, has it stripped. Good defense. Back out to Charles. They are brothers, by the way. Charles from long range can't get it to go. Richard Derrick rips down the board. Colonel's shooting everything from 15 feet and out.
Strictly outside shooting tonight for South Garland.
Mookie Blaylock misses what is normally a gimme for him from about 16. And Blaylock still only has 4 points. And he's really not being covered by the guys that you would figure would do the job on him.
You know, you were talking about South getting beat coming down the floor a while ago on the fast break. Did you see that 2-point? It's hard, one reason, because Armstrong is working deep in the corner over here on the offense. If they lose the rebound, he's really out of position to get back into the break.
Allsbrook taken by Smith, forces it in and scores. Your basic power move to the hoop there.
Yes, nice move.
Back to a 2-point game. Calvin Smith pulls the trigger from the parking lot and hits.
Next one, he will stand in the stands and shoot it.
Might as well. Back to a 4-point game. Blaylock moving against Armstrong. Tipped on the way up. Satchel off the glass, no good. Richard Derrick with the board, stripped on the way up. Fouled by Charles Smith. Second foul on Charles Smith, and Russ George will check in for Calvin Smith. 1:25 left.
Well, I noticed Channel 4 is left. That leaves nothing but big-time TV here.
Yeah, they can't take it.
Small guys left.
They can't take it. Of course, they got a 10 o'clock newscast to make, and we don't.
And he ran out of tape.
Yeah, well, I probably did, or maybe his camera didn't work. You know, it happens to us all the time.
I'm familiar with that problem, yes.
Richard Derrick, 2 shots coming up, the outstanding junior postman for Garland. A lot of college scouts looking at him right now. Could be an outstanding college power forward. First one is good. Only 3 points tonight for Richard Derrick. Gets them both. .32-30. Armstrong, another launch tipped up by Pedford, goes to Billy Smith in traffic. Can't get it to go. Armstrong tried to dunk it. Offensive foul, Armstrong. Second on Cato. You know, that's one of those things where if he had just tried to tip it in instead of trying to jam it in, he might not have gotten called for the foul.
Well, when he did that, I believe that brought him over someone's back that was in front of him.
And Ricky Allsbrook will be at the line with a 1-and-1 and a chance to tie the game. That was Armstrong's second foul. And now looking for one more to tie. Missed it. Lane violation, Billy Smith will shoot it again. Saw a lot of that in the junior varsity game.
Billy in a little bit of a hurry that time. He knew he had Richard sitting right next to him.
Allsbrook converts the second chance. We're tied at 32. 4 straight by Garland. Ticking down toward 1 minute left first half in what has been an outstanding high school basketball game. Billy Smith in the paint, goes down low. Pedford gets him up in the air. It won't go, but does draw the foul. It is on Allsbrook, I think. Yes. Allsbrook and Derrick were down there. I'm sure Lane Nordsworthy's much happier with Rick's first than Richard's third.
Well, you know, you look at Rick, he doesn't strike you as having the exact basketball physique as a lot of players do, but he plays real well. Fantastic football player, too.
Definitely plays like a tight end in a basketball uniform, but that's not necessarily bad. Bedford hits them both. First 2 points for Jimmy. Colonels by 2. Substitution. Calvin Smith checks in for Charles Smith. Charles has 2 fouls. Calvin maybe a little quicker defensively. .56 seconds left. Full court pressure by South Garland. To get it across to Neil Derrick, almost carried the ball. Dribbles through traffic, goes back to Mookie Blaylock. Colonel's enough to hurry back on defense. Blaylock pulls up from 16, no good off back iron. Long rebound comes out, knocked away from Neil Derrick. On the floor, Pedford had it. Now way in the backcourt. Mookie Blaylock pulls it down.
1st and 10.
Long pass, Richard Derrick over Billy Smith, cancels. Tie game. Colonels will probably play for 1, 25 seconds left. They hit the shot to end quarter number 1. Garland standing at 2-3 zone. They have played it most of the night. Interesting defensive strategy forced the Colonels to take the jumper, and the Colonels have obliged by taking the jumper.
Should be just a matter of a few seconds here. There he is. Now he tells them to come out and take them.
Calvin Smith takes it all the way to the paint and draws the foul on Mookie Blaylock. Just exactly what they wanted to do. That's 2 on Mookie. With 4 seconds left, Calvin Smith will have 2 shots. When you can shoot from so far out like Calvin can, the tendency is to overplay you out there and allow the drive, which is what happened that time. Calvin is a scorer, not just a shooter. He can put it in either on the drive or from the perimeter.
Well, you know, I've heard a few people criticize him a bit for being strictly offensive-oriented and not playing real strong defense, but I really haven't noticed that much. He does a great job coming in off the bench there and into the guard situation.
You know, an interesting point, when these two teams played in the Coca-Cola tournament the first time, Calvin hits the second. When they played the Coca-Cola tournament the first time, he had about 8 boards and held Neil Derrick to 7 points. Mookie Blaylock very short. Half ends, outstanding first half of basketball. South Garland 35, Garland 34. Second half coming up in a minute. Welcome back. Garland High School second half about to get underway. 35-34, South Garland lead. The one stat that just jumps out and bites you. Mookie Blaylock with 4 points at halftime. Tremendous defensive job by the Colonels to hold Mookie in check.
Well, I would imagine that's something that Coach Northworthy got across to Mookie at halftime, that they need him into the scoring thing here.
Cato Armstrong scores, draws foul number 3 on Mookie Blaylock. Colonel lead now 3. What a move. Scoop two-handed by Armstrong. And Mookie Blaylock now has 3 fouls. And to tell you the truth, as valuable as Richard Derrick is, they could really ill afford to lose Mookie Blaylock because he is really the star that stirs the drink, as they say. Armstrong completes a 3-point play. He leads all scorers with 13. And the Colonel lead is up to 4. Neil Derrick very short, but Richard gets the board and puts it back in. Richard Derrick only had 6 in the first half. He now has 8. Half-court trap. Charles Smith dribbles through it. Derrick driver, down low, Billy Smith. Lost it for a moment, kicks it back out. Shot by Charles Smith. No good off back iron. Billy Smith with the board. Kicks it across Russ George. Free throw line jumper. Charles Smith short. Rebound comes down to Satchel. Charles Smith misses 2 that he normally makes, and he's not having a good shooting night. Ball lost inside. Cato Armstrong with it. Double clutches, can't get it. Goes to Charles Smith, just throws it up. It won't go. Tipped out toward us, and Mookie Blaylock pulls it down. Charles Smith having a terrible shooting night. Pull up by Neil Derrick. Around and out, won't go. Derrick driver with the board. Foul is on, I think, Richard Derrick, and that would be 3.
It is.
Need to get Ray Thomas's mic up out there, guys. Foul on Derrick, number 3. 3 on Mookie Blaylock. So a little foul trouble jumps up right now for Garland.
2 of their premier scorers now had a bit of a foul problem. You know, you look at the book and you see how many points each one of them had in the first half. Not that many. You have to credit the rest of the team with playing some heads-up basketball to keep them in the thick of things here.
They got a lot of points from a lot of people they really didn't expect it from. Of course, 7 from Neil Derrick is not a surprise, but 7 from Raymond Satchel certainly is. 4 from Thompson and Allsbrook apiece, and 2 from Mack. Stolen, good hands. Fast break. Blaylock will pull up from 18 and hit it. Mookie Blaylock ties the game at 38. Again, the half-court trap. Armstrong through traffic all the way, dumps it to Billy Smith, who scores. What a pass.
Well, the fans behind us thought he might have walked with the ball. Good pass anyway.
NBA move. Richard Derrick turn around, way long, good defense, Billy Smith. Charles Smith with a rebound. Charles Smith has gotten a lot of rebounds. He's had good position. He is proving that you don't have to be tall to get a few.
Yeah, for a man that primarily plays outside, he's doing a fine job on the board.
Dump down low. Forced it in on Derrick, missed it. Foul on Billy Smith. That's Billy's first. That's a key. Only 1 on Billy and 3 on Richard. Billy forced it in that time, trying to draw foul number 4 on Richard Derrick, but Derrick did a good defensive job. Satchel, almost stripped by Derrick Driver, is stripped by Derrick Driver. It goes off of Satchel, belongs to South Garland. Colonels are looking very crisp here in running the offense and the defense, although they're still not shooting well. Cato Armstrong, running jumper, no good. Mookie Blaylock with the rebound. Blaylock in a hurry, dumps off, block. Shot won't count. Foul number 3 on Charles Smith. We are not yet in the bonus, and Blaylock passed off, so it won't be a shooting foul. Garland looking to tie. 40-38 ball game, 5:26 left third quarter. Substitute checking in, Calvin Smith for Charles Smith, who has 3 fouls. Richard Derrick and Mookie Blaylock have 3 apiece for Garland. Neil Derrick in the paint, hits it. His first point since the first quarter, and it ties it at 40.
This is the man that dealt South Garland a lot of misery in the first game over at South Garland.
Only a freshman, as I'm sure you have pointed out numerous times this season. Billy Smith, baseline move, nice pass to Calvin Smith, who missed it. Missed the 4-foot banker. Garland can lead. Nice pass by Billy Smith, no shot. Derrick stripped on the way up, goes out of bounds. Belongs to Garland.
I thought we were fixing to see the old Jamaroo there.
Looked
He had
like
the baseline going.
somebody got the ball as he went up. Richard Derrick takes the inbounds pass. Blaylock back to Richard Derrick. Spins in the lane. Traveled. Good call. Ball was knocked away from him for just a moment, and he took steps trying to get it back. South Garland, chance to take the lead again. They have led for most of the ball game, but they have never led by very much. Billy Smith has it knocked away, but Derek Driver hustles and pulls it back in. Still the 2-3 zone. 15-footer, no good. Air ball by Cato Armstrong. Colonels are not shooting very well. Dished off. Satchel scores it. Make it Garland by 2, 42-40. Satchel having a great game. Billy Smith in the paint, lost it, gets it back, goes up and scores with the left hand.
That's a nice move. He came right up in the middle of that 2-3 and still pulled that move off.
12 points for Smith, game tied again at 42. Mookie Blaylock off the break, off back iron. Cato Armstrong about 2 feet above the rim for the rebound, but taken away by Thompson. Neil Derrick over Calvin Smith, no good. Armstrong with another board, knocked out of bounds, belongs to Garland. Twice in a row, Armstrong with a nice bound, and twice in a row, Garland strips him on the way out. That happens a lot of times when you get the rebound and try to bring it out yourself instead of throwing the outlet pass. Again, Garland chance to take the lead. Neil Derrick, wild shot, and again, Armstrong with the rebound. This time he controls. Pulls up, shoots, and scores. 5 1/4, 15 in the game. Colonels by 2. Back and forth we go. Blaylock against Russ George's defense. Derrick tipped away. Armstrong has it. What a pass to Billy Smith. Can he run it down? Yes, he does. Calvin Smith from about 18. Another air ball. Colonels have really thrown up some bricks here in the second half. In fact, they threw up some bricks in the first half. Blaylock from 18 over Russ George. Shot won't go, but George fouls him. Second on George. Blaylock will have 2.
Yeah, there's another foul way out from the basket. Those really shouldn't happen. That's very loose play.
3:05 left. South Garland leads it by 2 in the third quarter. This has been a dynamite basketball game. That's what we expected, and that's what we got.
Well, as you mentioned, Smith not hitting too much here. He's tried some shots that apparently are a little out of his range. This last one down here right in front of our table completely cleared the hoop. Was not even close.
You know, really, the Cardinals are a pretty good outside shooting team. I don't know if they're as good as some teams around, but to see them throw up as many air balls as they had tonight, I think part of that's got to be a tribute to the defense of Garland. They are really flashing out at them and making them adjust their shots some. Cato Armstrong with 15 leads all scorers. Richard Derrick has 8. Neil Derrick 9. Raymond Satchel 9 for Garland. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Russ Siebert with you, along with the indomitable Ray Thomas. Indomitable, that's what you are?
Half-voiced.
Half-voiced Ray Thomas. Wes Orr couldn't be with us tonight. That's okay. It was my truck. I wanted to do the game anyway, so there. Yeah. Mookie Blaylock will be at the line for 2 shots and a chance to tie the game. I'm trying to remember. I don't think anybody's been ahead by more than 5 in the game tonight. And most of the leads have been the 2, 1, 2, 3-point variety.
Well, that's what the local paper was saying. Their prediction was the winner of this would be by 1. First one's good.
Blaylock can match his entire first half total in the third quarter if he hits this one, and does. He's now got 8. Game tied again at 44. Once again, Charles Smith on the bench with 3 fouls for the Colonels. Mookie Blaylock and Richard Derrick playing with 3 for Garland, rather. Calvin Smith back to Cato Armstrong. Thinks about the shot, top of the key, knocked away. Mookie Blaylock, good hands. Owls on the run. Nice pass. Neil Derrick, score it. And Russ George is down again.
Holding his knee this time.
Did not see what happened to Russ. He has done a nice defensive job on Blaylock. It would be a great loss if he would have to leave the game. There you see the capacity crowd on hand, and this place couldn't put another one near the shoehorn. There are literally dozens of people outside watching on the monitors in our truck, and also just kind of standing by the front door. I'm not sure what they're doing over by the front door, but
hoping to hear the score announced every now and then, I would imagine.
Maybe so. Russ George is up. Because of Russ's style of play, he is not generally the most popular player in opposing gyms, and consequently probably takes a lot of grief. There are a lot of players like that, the guys that really put out the effort and dive for loose balls. Ricky Allsbrook is an example of someone in Garland who sometimes takes the wrath of the opposing fans. Garland staying with his 2-3. Charles Smith from the corner missed another one. Calvin Smith looking to pull that rebound away. Garland has a chance to lead by 4. Looks inside, Allsbrook turns, blocked by Billy Smith. Charles Smith trips, throws up a wild shot, had to, didn't have any choice. It's either that or travel.
Smith almost lost it coming in the lane that time. Tried to go ahead and put it up anyway.
Didn't really have any choice, either that or walk with it. Neil Derrick spins, throws the ball right to Billy Smith. Colonel's in a hurry. Nice lead pass, Charles Smith, hammered by Neil Derrick. Only 2 on Derrick, and 2 shots coming up for Charles Smith. I don't think there was any doubt that Neil was going to ensure that ball wasn't going up.
That was definitely a foul. Somebody might call it molesting.
Got his money's worth, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, you know, they say if you're going to foul somebody on a breakaway, make doggone sure you hit them hard enough that they don't get the layup, and that was what he did that time. Charles Smith with 2. 1-point game. Missed it. Still a 1-point game. Garland on the run. Blaylock in a hurry. Dumps off Neil Derrick. 15-footer, no good. Rebound fought for, pulled down by Mack. He missed it. Charles Smith pulls it down. Colonel's in a hurry. 3-on-2. Knocked away. What defense by Mookie Blaylock. Long lead pass. Richard Derrick goes to Neil Derrick, who traveled. What they call? Yes, traveling. Got a little too fancy. What a defensive job by Mookie Blaylock. Anticipated the pass over here and got his hand on it. We are seeing some great defense by players who were undermanned on the break in 3-on-1s and 3-on-2s. Under a minute and a half to play. Garland up by 1, 46-45. Calvin Smith shoots and scores.
As you mentioned, both guys have done a great job thus far of defending the fast break.
That time Mack went for the steal and got burned inside. Knocked away. K.O. Armstrong. Colonels will control.
And still something that applies. Most of the offensive shots, you're getting 1 shot and that's it.
Good defensive rebounding on both ends. Colonels may play for 1 here. They've got the lead and the basketball. They led by 1 after 2 quarters. Air ball by Derek Driver. And that's not the kind of shot I don't think they wanted. Derrick stripped on the way up by Cato Armstrong. But Armstrong draws foul number 3.
We're seeing all the main names now starting to draw
their third foul.
But one key here, Ray, Billy Smith is sitting with 1. And that may be the difference down the stretch. Richard Derrick for 2 shots. We're tied again. Missed it, and foul on the rebound on Allsbrook. Second on Allsbrook. I believe that's the team's third, neither team in the bonus, so at the tie score, South Garland will have the basketball. Russ George has checked back in for South Garland. Colonels will, I would imagine, play for 1.
We'll mention again, Russell, Garland can take this one tonight. They'll lead by 2 over South and by 3 over everyone else in the district.
Actually, a win here virtually assures Garland of a playoff spot, although not mathematically. They still have Mesquite and North Garland to play. With a tie score, Garland has to come out and play them. If they do not, it will be a technical foul. 6 seconds. Russ George in trouble, shoots very short, and that'll run it out. I don't think that's the shot South Garland wanted in that situation. After 3 quarters, we are about as dead even as you can get, 47-47.
That last shot, Smith did a good job of staying off the people. It went way over his head. He was backing up into them. Apparently not enough to draw the foul, though. That would have been a shame to draw a foul with only 1 second left on the clock. As you said before, Russell, the big difference right now is that Billy Smith, one of the main names on the court for South Garland, virtually in no foul problem at all. He's playing a very clean basketball game right now. The man he's up against, Richard Derrick, he's setting with 3. And now Mookie Blaylock setting with 3. 2 of the people that the Garland Owls look to for the majority of their points.
The Colonels do have 2 players with 3, Charles Smith and Cato Armstrong, but if there's one thing the Colonels have, it's guards, and a bunch of them. They have a little bit better depth there. A very low-scoring third quarter. Garland gets 13, and South Garland only gets 12. As the defensive pressure was turned up just a little bit more. 8 minutes to play. First place on the line. Garland with a win can all but lock up a playoff spot. South Garland trying not to fall back toward the pack. And these folks are getting exactly what they paid for, a great high school basketball game.
And I'm just glad I'm not one of them having to stand outside the double doors.
We'll jump it again. Tip back, controlled by Garland. Satchel over, driver, won't go. Tipped around, Richard Derrick gets it back, he misses. And Billy Smith with the rebound, foul number 4 on Richard Derrick. And that is a turn of events.
Well, that is something that we mentioned
Earlier, Derrick tends to get himself in foul trouble every now and then.
He missed point blank on the follow and then fouled trying to get the next attempt.
And if he has to leave the ball game, there is virtually nobody on the Owls bench that can keep up move for move with Billy Smith.
Billy is just too quick for his size, 6'5", 205, and really quick. Could probably play tight end in football, 1-and-1. He missed it, but the rebound to Charles Smith. In trouble. Goes down low. Billy trying to draw that next foul. Allsbrook with a great defensive play. Billy Smith threw it off of one of Garland's players out of bounds. It belonged to the Colonels. What a great defensive play by Allsbrook there. Charles Smith from the corner, missed again. Billy Smith will draw foul number 2. Again, I don't know the shooting percentages, but neither team has shot very well tonight.
No, they really haven't.
A lot of that can be attributed to the defense, but then again, They've had a lot of open shots they haven't hit, particularly the Colonels from the perimeter. They have missed some wide open shots. Richard Derrick with a 1-and-1. He has only 9 points tonight. Missed it. Cato Armstrong with Allsbrook will jump it. Both teams going a little cold from the foul line now. This will be interesting. Allsbrook's got the height advantage, but I don't think there's any doubt who's got the advantage in leaping ability here. Armstrong controls it easily to Charles Smith. Cato is one of the most incredible leapers I've ever had the pleasure to watch. He can really sky. Tie game. Garland has played that 2-3 zone to the hilt. Another steal. Blaylock with a great move. Goes to Richard Derrick. Stripped from behind. Allsbrook saves. Into Derrick. Gets it. Puts it in.
Good pass by Allsbrook that time. And a nice heads-up save in the corner by him.
Garland by 2. Owls are doing a great defensive job on South Garland tonight. Charles Smith missed it. Billy Smith missed the board. Garland can lead by 4. Russ George with a silly foul in the open court. 3 on George. Mookie Blaylock will have a 1-and-1. Now, one thing we need to remember, when Garland got a lead in the fourth quarter at South Garland, they put the ball in the deep freeze and ran some time off the clock. If Blaylock should get these and they should keep South Garland from scoring the next time, you may see that. We'll have a timeout. 6:43 left. The Garland Owls lead the South Garland Colonels 49-47. And this game has been just like this, nip and tuck the entire way. Garland cheerleaders. For the Owls, a sweep of the district schedule over South Garland would be a tremendous coup. They haven't done that in a while. In fact, I don't remember the last time they beat them twice in district.
You know, Russell, one thing you'd have to wonder at this point in the schedule, what in the world has happened to Wilmer Hutchins?
Well,
Highland Park has their number.
To sound like a guru, I picked Wilmer 4th before the season started. I just didn't think the Muhammad kid was going to be able to carry them, and so far that's proven true. Before the season started, several coaches I talked to said, watch out for Highland Park because they've got good overall height and they can all shoot. And they have proven they can certainly do that. However, they are both at least 2 games behind these 2 teams we have here tonight. Blaylock hits the first one. Owls by 3. Owls by 4. A lot of time left, but the Colonels really need a basket this time down the floor. I hate to really have huge possessions this early, but I would have to think this is one. They're being very patient. Billy in the corner to Charles. Billy, nice pass to Derrick Driver, missed it. Good defense by Richard Derrick, bothered him from behind.
Real good. The Driver had made it around him. He deflected just enough of it to get the ball back.
Blaylock down low, stripped on the way up, saved. Out of bounds. Armstrong is standing on the out of bounds line. It'll belong to Garland. You know, Derrick probably made a mistake by putting the ball on the floor. It delayed just enough to allow Richard Derrick to come over and make the play. Mookie Blaylock to Allsbrook. Too strong. Gets his own rebound. Missed it again, and Cato Armstrong lost the board to Derrick, who puts it in. Owls by 6.
Well, I'll tell you what, at this point, it's just hard to get the Owls off those 2 prime spots there in that forwards area on the rebound. They're just controlling that board.
Cato Armstrong dumps to Derek Driver in traffic. Foul on Satchel. Satchel's third.
I believe that was called on Blaylock.
It was indeed my mistake for Mookie Blaylock. And if he goes out of the game, I can assure you the defensive pressure in the backcourt will increase immediately from South Garland. Derek Driver with 1 and 1, pardon me, hits the first one. Hits them both. Back to a 4-point game, and already the attempt. Derek almost forced out of bounds by Russ George, but controls the ball and stays in bounds. Howells, dump it inside Allsbrook, gets Armstrong up in the air and scores it. 55-49.
Good move by Rick that time.
And an athletic move by Armstrong to not foul him because it looked like it was a certain thing. Armstrong from the perimeter, missed it, tipped up, no good. Derek with the board. With a 6-point lead, they're going to call timeout, and I would not be a bit surprised if they put it in the deep freeze. 4:54 left, Garland leads by 6. They have held South Garland to 2 points and no field goals in the last 3:06.
Man, you're going to see what you've been talking about here. They're going to try to spread it out now a little bit and see if they can't run a little time off the clock.
Well, with Blaylock,
6 points to play with here.
Yeah, with Blaylock and Derek both with 4 fouls, they really need to shorten the ball game.
Another interesting note, you know, South Garland has gone back to shooting the outside shots again.
Here's a note for you, Ray. In over 11 minutes of the second half, South Garland has 5 field goals. Only 5 baskets in the second half. Most of their points have come from the free throw line. Inbound. Let's see what the Colonels do defensively. They've got to know what's coming. Full court, 3/4 court press. They get through it, and here they come. They didn't call a double dribble there. I'm real surprised. That looked like a turnover. Clayton Brooks sure wanted one. The Mookie Blaylock show. 4.5 minutes left. Colonels now try to trap. Now, I personally don't care for this particular style of play, but it's certainly effective, and given the rules of the game, this is definitely what you should do in this situation. Billy Smith with a steal. Russ George has it to Billy Smith, all the way up and in. Make it a 4-point game. Allsbrook pulls it down. Nice defense, Cato Armstrong. That was going to be a jam by Derek, but Cato got a hand in the way. 3:50 left. Jimmy Pedford will check in for South Garland, replacing probably Russ George. Nope, going to be Derek Driver. Russ George really sucking for air. He is having a tough time breathing. Way out top, Blaylock. Spins in the lane, shoots, scores. Kind of lulled him to sleep. 6-point game. Billy Smith up and good. He's got 16. Wet spot on the floor they'll have to take care of. It would appear that Garland is going to go ahead and play offense if they're ahead by 4, but freeze the ball if they're ahead by 6.
Yeah.
They are currently ahead by 4.
South at the point now that they need a couple of turnovers to get some quick baskets back up because the clock's began to be a little bit in the favor of the Owls here.
Very much so. Blaylock across the timeline. Satchel into the paint. Allsbrook goes baseline. That's going to be a charge. Good defense, Russ George. Foul number 3 on Allsbrook. Was it after the shot? We're going to shoot a 1-and-1. Or are we? No, they say it was a charge. Cardinals can cut it to 2. Well, Russ has been trying to draw that charge all night. Finally got one. .310 left. Billy Smith, no basket, he traveled.
That was a good thought on the play anyway, just one too many steps.
Full court pressure. Derrick gets it across. Almost lost it to Charles Smith. Dookie Blaylock dishes off Richard Derrick. Hits it. Derrick with 15, lead back to 6. Under 3 minutes. Charles Smith missed another one. Billy Smith tips it up. Foul on Allsbrook. That's 4 on Rick Allsbrook.
What Allsbrook is complaining about, he says Smith was behind him. Why does he get called for the foul?
That's a good question. I don't have a good answer for that one. Billy Smith at the line for a 1-and-1. Cardinals cannot afford to have him miss this one. He does not. 5-point game. 2:33 left. Hits them both. 4-point game. Full court pressure. Dookie Blaylock eats this for lunch. Cardinals will double team. Almost lost it. Way across court. Whoa. Satchel climbed the ladder for that one. Derrick scores. He's got 8 in the quarter and 17 in the game. It's a 6-point game again.
Well, they really got the Colonels spread out at the moment.
Taylor Armstrong missed it. Tipped away. Lost. Satchel. All the way. Russ George fouls him. And we have the usual altercation after that. Don't think you can really underestimate how much of an effect Raymond Satchel's had on this game. If he hits these, he will go into double figures, and with only 1:55 left, if he does hit both of these, I'd say chances of South Garland winning this game are real remote. It looks like Garland will continue their domination in 9-5A.
Well, you know, that's one thing I said right at the start here. I think a lot of opponents that have come up against the Owls this year have underestimated Raymond Satchel and Neil Derrick over on that offside. And in the first game with the Colonels here, Neil Derrick played a big part in that ball game. Scored quite a few points to help the Owls defeat over that first round. Needless to say, if the Owls take this one tonight, when is the last time you can remember South Garland dropping 2 in a row to the Garland Owls?
I would think it would have to have been when Ricky Pierce was still here. I can't recall of that happening lately. In fact, the last few years, any Garland victory over South Garland anywhere in the season has been kind of rare. But there's a little bit of a changing of their guard going on here in Garland right now, and the Owls have played great in the fourth quarter. credit's got to go to the 2-3 zone that Garland came out in. They have forced everything outside. Even though Billy Smith does have 18 points, he has really had to work for them. And with the outside jumpers kind of coming erratically for the Colonels, they just didn't have much of a chance to stay in it from out there. Satchel with 2. Hits the first. One more to come. Missed, no, got it. Threw up a brick, but it went in anyway. 8-point Garland lead. Colonel's got to score in a hurry. Blocked. Billy Smith has it in the paint. Goes up very short. Allsbrook with the board jump ball. Pedford and Allsbrook. Big play by Pedford. If Garland pulls down that rebound, this thing is over. It may be over anyway. All the people who are outside have now started crowding into the hallway behind us. Here's the jump. Pedford controls. Boy, what a big play that is. Armstrong from the corner, around and out. Billy Smith with the board, puts it back up, missed it. Pedford had it, lost it. Charles Smith has it. But the Colonels are wasting time. Billy Smith powers it up, draws the foul. Who's it on? Maybe on Richard Derrick, that'd be 5. Whoever it's on, somebody's going to foul out. It's on Derrick. Allsbrook also has 5. But it may have happened late enough that it doesn't matter. Only 1:24 left, and the Garland Owls on top by 6.
He'll finish with 17 points on the night.
And 8 of them in the fourth quarter, and that's the big stat. Billy Smith will have 2 free throws. I said by 6. Garland's ahead by 8, 63-55. And if Billy Smith misses either one of these, you might be able to just close the book on it. Great job by Blaylock and Derrick to avoid fouling out of the game up to this point. Blaylock still sitting with 4. Billy Smith with 19, looking for 20. He's got them both. Colonels stay alive, but they're down by 6. Minute 22. They're going to have to foul somebody, and they need to get it out of Mookie Blaylock's hands if they're going to. Minute 12. Colonels letting a lot of time go off the clock here. Under a minute to play. Need to foul somebody. Way cross court. Allsbrook with a tremendous save. Backcourt. What a tremendous athletic play by Allsbrook. Colonels trying to cut it to 4.
That was almost up in the third row of bleachers.
48 seconds left. But they managed to run about 30 seconds off the clock. Armstrong in the corner. Charles Smith from the perimeter finally hits one. Charles Smith has only 7 points tonight. 4-point game. Neil Derrick, 30 seconds to play. Foul by Charles Smith. Fourth on Charles. Neil Derrick will have a 1-and-1. 26 seconds left. Neal had 7 in the first quarter, has scored only 4 since then, but he can ice this one with 2 free throws here. That is short. Rebound. Armstrong saves it to Charles Smith. Colonels will have to hurry. 20 seconds to play. In a hurry. Pulls up from 18. Short. Rebound fought for. Foul call. If that's on Allsbrook, he's gone. It is on Allsbrook. That is 5 on him.
Well, now their second big man is out.
Bedford at the line, 14 seconds left. Colonel's down by 4. The Owls desperately trying to hang on to this one. The one advantage is they've managed to keep Mookie Blaylock in the game to handle the ball. Bedford has only 2 points tonight. He is 2 for 2 from the free throw line. He's shooting a 1-and-1. Missed it. Billy Smith with the board. Puts it back up. Blocked by Satchel. Charles Smith misses. Ball on the floor. Jump ball. 5 seconds to go. But the missed free throw and the missed follow by Billy Smith may have doomed the Colonels.
You know what really hurt the Colonels there? It cost them 9 seconds on the clock, and they end up with no points.
They'll get the jump ball, but even if they control and score, Garland will not have to put the ball in play. And what a tremendous win for the program here at Garland High School to sweep the Colonels in district. Who would have thought it?
This will give them a commanding lead. Wilmer Hutchins, probably their next big game coming up. They have to go to Wilmer.
And this capacity crowd starting to file out as they think it's over. And they may very well be right. The big player down the stretch, as you would hope it would be for Garland, Richard Derrick, has 8 in the fourth quarter. And eventually that 2-3 zone and having to shoot from the outside killed South Garland. They just couldn't hit the jumper consistently enough to stay in a ball game.
Oh, South Garland normally much more consistent with their outside shots. They had quite a few of them missed tonight.
And what a great block by Raymond Satchel. And if I was going to pick an MVP for today, it'd have to be Satchel. He has played so well at both ends.
He's played a great game. You can see him out on the court just then trying to get the crowd going. They have only 5 seconds.
He'll jump against
between
Bedford.
them and a 2-game lead in District 9-5-8.
Satchel slaps it out of bounds, which really wasn't the thing to do. He needed to keep it in play. Now, the Colonels do have a timeout left. If they can score and call timeout immediately, they'll have a chance for a steal on the inbound. That's the only hope they have. Armstrong will have to shoot quickly. No good. Ball game. Garland beats South Garland for the second time in district, 63-59. And I believe we have a new dominant team in Garland High School basketball.
Man strikes up the 2.
The band's into it. Once again, our final score. Garland 63, South Garland 59 in a thriller. Ray, thanks a lot. I enjoyed working with you again. It was fun.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all coming out and lending a hand here with other equipment over here in Garland side that didn't want to work for a change.
Well,
Appreciate you guys going over and helping out.
with a little luck, the Carrollton crew will see you again in the playoffs. Again, 63-59, Garland on top. Thanks a lot for joining us, everybody. Good night.